Today on DNVR Buffs Live, I've got some takes after the dust has settled on the massacre that happened this weekend. And also, Coach Prime with an interesting press conference up in Boulder. We'll get to that and much more in just a few seconds.
Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. Coming to you live from the DNVR studio is DNVR Buffs Live. Let's talk about it. Again.
Let's taco about it on Taco Tuesday.
Yes, happy Taco Tuesday to everyone who celebrates. We're back here at the studio. Another successful road trip in some departments. Not when it comes to the game, though. How are we all feeling? 3 days removed now?
I ain't seen you since I seen you, bro. How you feeling?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
I feel better. And I want to start by saying I stand by what I said after the game, which was that's a game where changes have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that nothing has changed is disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Now, and that's publicly.
Right.
Who knows what's going on behind the scenes? We don't know who's starting at quarterback this weekend. We don't know what could have potentially changed behind the scenes. But nothing publicly has changed. So I want to start there, but that's not what I'm going to harp on. I think that as Buffs fans, we have some really deep, visible scars.
Yep.
And it has not been easy being a fan of this team for a long, long time. And so Coach Prime came in and gave us hope. And hope is a dangerous thing.
It's very dangerous.
Because with hope comes expectation. And when something happens like what happened on Saturday night, it just cuts open those scars. Like, for those of you who haven't been here as long as me, those like national TV embarrassments were a common thing. And when you think you're past that and you kind of like get to have fun and you're enjoying this and you're kind of talking your shit and all of that, and then all of a sudden you get thrown right back into the midst of your nightmares, it like takes a toll on you. It's even worse than it was before because you thought you were past that. So all of that is to say that like I understand why everyone crashed the fuck out. Like watching your team feel like it's taking steps back to where they were in the past is like a harrowing feeling.
Mm-hmm.
With all of that being said, as the dust has settled and perspective has kind of set in for me, it's hit me that it's not as bad as it felt in that night.
Mm-hmm.
That game in a vacuum is as bad as it felt in that night. But where we are as a program is not as bad as it felt in that moment. And it took me some time to just sit back and reflect and think about the fact that like Georgia Tech is undefeated and in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado should have beat them. They were toe-to-toe with them. BYU is undefeated and in the top 10. And Colorado should have beat them. They went toe-to-toe with them. Those are things that we could have never dreamed of in the pre-Coach Prime era. And so that doesn't excuse what happened. It doesn't mean that things shouldn't be changed. It doesn't mean that this team doesn't have to get way better. And it doesn't mean that anyone was wrong in the way that they felt after that game. Unless, I don't know how everyone felt. Unless your feeling was Coach Prime should be fired, then I would say you're wrong.
Still too much of that, though.
For sure. But I get why everyone was freaking out. This team is not as bad as they looked in that game. And I think that they have a chance to prove that when they come back home this weekend.
I agree with you from the standpoint that this team isn't as bad as what we saw on Saturday night, but I would push back from the rest of the standpoint of, you mentioned the Georgia Tech game in week 1 that they were nearly won, the BYU game that they were up 14-0. Both of those games are over a month ago, and teams can regress.
Yeah.
And what we saw on Saturday looked like a team that has just regressed from a point that honestly wasn't even that high to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that's frustrating and I think has caused fans to crash out, Saturday seemed like a repeat of games we have seen before. We talked about the Alamo Bowl a little bit after the game on Saturday in terms of having an extra week to prepare, extra time to prepare, and looking like you had no time to prepare, looking like you didn't watch any film or scout or game plan at all. And a lot of the things that we talked about after the Georgia Tech game were things that we're talking about right now, this week. A lot of things that we were talking about after BYU and after TCU are things that are continuing to plague this team on both sides of the ball in all three phases: coaching, players, execution, game plan, all of that stuff. And that is what has me frustrated. I know a lot of people out there as well, Coach Prime included, is that the talent isn't what we all thought it would be on this team this year, clearly. Right, yeah. We knew it would take a step back from last year because you lose a handful of guys, not even just
you lost a Heisman,
Travis, but you lost a handful of guys who are legitimate contributors and NFL kind of caliber guys. We kind of misjudged the talent on this football team, but it doesn't really excuse the lack of effort. A team that really looked like it was playing without a soul, without a heartbeat on Saturday. The second play of the game, a true freshman goes 65 yards to the crib. And I'm watching guys on that defense, on that field, look like they're not even really trying to make a play on the ball carrier. Multiple guys on the second play of the game, coming after a bye, coming after a game where you dominated for at least the second half of that game against Iowa State, and you were turned up in the locker room. You were talking your shit. You had the feeling of euphoria that you have been searching for all season. You finally found it, and instead of trying to recapture it, you reverted back to old habits. You regressed in a lot of ways, and that's kind of where I'm at with this team. They clearly cannot play on the road. They clearly cannot play at night.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is the road thing is clear. The same shit that we're saying about this road game is the same shit we were saying about Houston.
Facts.
Utah's just better than Houston.
100%.
By the way, Houston is good. You were right.
Thank you.
There's no.
I gave him his flowers for that yesterday.
There's no going back on that one. I even thought they were bad when we played them. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I understand what you're saying. I just think that I think we can actually both be right. It's just everything is so one way or the other. And I feel like I have to do this like PSA once a year where it's like nothing is accomplished by the fan base pointing fingers at each other and saying, right, you're ungrateful for Prime, or saying you don't know what we've been through, blah, blah, blah. Like that doesn't accomplish anything.
No.
Everyone is here for the same goal. We all want Colorado to win. Whether you got here yesterday, which if you did, great timing, we need you. Or if you've been here for longer than me. The point, everyone wants the best thing for Colorado. And that gets lost when you start finger pointing within the fan base. I think that it's completely fair to say that most Colorado fans, an overwhelming majority of Colorado fans, are incredibly grateful that Coach Prime is here and still believe in his ability to keep this team and make this team better than they've been. And I think it's also fair to say that, like, if you were really upset after that game and you're demanding that Coach Prime, as the leader of the program, do something about it, and again, Maybe it doesn't have to be public. But I think you can be right there too. And it doesn't mean that, Coach Prime should leave because you're not grateful for what he's done for the program. Mm-hmm. Like, I think people are really grateful for what Coach Prime's done for the program on the majority. And I think that there's people out there who make it seem like that's not a common feeling. And there is people out there saying Coach Prime should be fired. You're out of your mind. And I think you're mostly just doing it for attention. Mm-hmm. Because you can't have seen where this program came from to where they have been, safer that game, for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious that this is a much better program. And also, as we said, I think after the Houston game, it's okay for this to be a transition year.
Yes.
Like, we probably should have been more prepared for that. And so that's on us.
Yes.
But the constant infighting, the attention-grabbing, loud posts aren't helping anything. But I also think they're not necessarily representative of the whole.
Yeah, true. I mean, for me, the issue's been up front the entire year. Coach Prime talked about it again today. It's leadership and accountability. And it's not just him. It's not just the coaching staff. It's the players, too. And I think that we're seeing a team, unlike last year, who they don't have someone to really rally the troops to get them to do what they're supposed to do, to be accountable to whether it's, I can't even say watching your film because apparently watching the film's off the chart this year, but it's applying whatever they're learning in whatever you're learning in meetings, something's not translating there. And I don't know who it's on. We're not in the building, of course, but yeah, it is frustrating that changes weren't made, but that's the issue with this team. Like, honestly, I don't really think the team is not talented. It's just the team, Coach Prime has said it time and time again, the team doesn't execute. And that can be a variety of things.
The answer of why that is happening has to be addressed, though.
I agree. I completely agree. But nothing happened.
If you just take the offense in a vacuum, mm-hmm. and the defense had so many problems on Saturday that I can't even go there right now. But if you just take the offense as an example, they are very clearly talented.
Yes. The
pass protection, again, save for Saturday, has been great all year. The wide receivers are obviously very talented. There's running back talent in that room. The quarterback has displayed his talent throughout this season. For them to go out and look like that means something is very wrong.
They're not taking it seriously.
We were talking about it in the media room before the presser today. This offense is averaging 22 points a game. And I think that's a damn shame with, to your point, the talent on this offense. I think the defense, there are legitimately some talent deficiencies on the defense.
Sure.
Particularly in the back
second
seven.
level. Yeah.
But offensively, there's enough to score 28 points a game in the Big 12. Especially when you've already, dropped 30 twice against, Delaware and Wyoming. Like, the ineptitude and the inconsistency, it starts with coaching, and we'll get into kind of what Coach Prime talked about with the blueprint, so to speak, or the cat being out of the bag in terms of how to attack this Colorado offense from an opponent's perspective. But that is the frustrating part. It would be one thing if, you lose Shador and Travis and you didn't have a great transfer portal haul, and the talent isn't just where it needs to be. But that's just not the case, particularly on offense. Mm-hmm. And there are multiple people, too many people who are responsible for that. But at this point, there's 4 games left in the season, right? You for sure are who you are. And at a certain point, there has to be legitimate, shaking the tree to see what comes out.
Chill
and see what It's side to side, though. It's side to side. You know what I'm saying? It's just what has to be done, though, because what we saw on Saturday, man, that's the type of thing that can I think break a locker room if the people in it allow it to happen. Mm-hmm. Totally. And we'll see how they come out on Saturday because, again, this is another good football team with a really good defense that was just given the blueprint of how to stifle Colorado's offense.
Yeah, and I brought it up with Akib on No Lie Zone if you guys want to check it out. The timestamps are in there. If you're only interested in the Buffs talk, you can click right to it. And
Fire
click out
show.
when you're done.
Y'all need to tap in.
Yep, for sure.
But I asked him, I'm like, can this be a game that galvanizes the team in a way that says like, hey, I'm clearly not doing my part. I gotta take myself up a level.
Yeah.
He said yes, but it could also do the other.
Facts.
And that's what you're bringing up. And of
Yes.
course, that's the fear. Because losses like that, I mean, you guys see what it does to the fan base.
Exactly.
It sends everyone into a fucking frenzy.
Yeah.
It's not as if it's the whole team is just like, yeah, whatever, we're good, move on.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's pressure and tightness in that room too.
Got to be.
And there are going to be some guys who are saying, what the hell was that? Why didn't I play? Or how is the coach calling this or doing that? So it's on them to try and figure it out. And Akib said, you have to have a meeting essentially like resetting your goals. You're not winning the Big 12. That was the goal coming into the season. It's gone now.
I like that idea.
So you need to have like almost like a full-on reset.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, this is the first meeting of the year. Here's what our goal is. The goal is to win 6 games.
Facts.
Or win out, whatever you want to do. The
Yeah.
goal,
Goal should be just to win Saturday.
for me, it's get to a bowl game. Like
Yeah,
that's your overarching goal for the remaining 4 games of the season. Is we got to find a way to win 3 of them. That's how we get to a bowl game. Obviously, it starts this week, and I kind of like that idea because to me that just like reshifts the focus. But I also do think that has to come with like and we're going this direction, that direction, to try and spark that.
And maybe that's why you call in the young guys, the younger players
Totally.
too, because they're obviously going to care. They're not out the door, once the season's over. Like this is just year 1 of a 3-4 year process for a lot of them. So we started to see that too.
Like you don't have too many high-level games left, which is actually a good thing. But like you can take on that Kansas role. Kansas is in a very similar spot at this point of last
And some
year.
seasons.
Yes, exactly. They took out BYU, they took out Colorado, and they took out Arizona State.
No, ISU ended up on like an 8-game win streak last year.
You're right.
But
They took out one other team that was
Yeah, he did.
competing for Iowa State.
they took out Colorado. I don't know.
said it. Yeah, I said that.
I don't know then.
So like that can be your goal. Obviously, you can make it about whatever you want. But you have an opportunity here. And thankfully, it's a home game this weekend.
Yes.
Because that's also another chance to say, like, okay, let's figure it out at home. Let's find a way to win this game. And you probably have your most winnable road game after that.
Yep. Totally. Let's take our first break, and then we'll get to the press conferences, and honestly, just more talk about what we just started talking about. Shout out to our friends at Ent Credit Union. Shout out Broncos country, man. We're thriving. At least the Broncos are. But check out their Broncos checking account. It's got all kinds of perks for the most diehard Broncos fan. Every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking debit card enters you for a chance to win home game tickets. And you get a sweet Broncos debit card. And a limited edition Bo Nix one is available right now. You get 10% off food and gear on game days at Mile High Stadium, plus no surprise fees because they're a credit union. They're going to take care of you and your money, not like the big banks. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR, ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Taco Bell on this Taco Tuesday. Fall is upon us, which means the weather is getting colder. So Taco Bell is bringing the heat. For a limited time, you can get the Taco Bell Flamin' Hot Frito Grilled Cheese Burrito.
Ooh.
Flamin' Hot Frito Grilled Cheese Burrito. Grilled cheese burritos are a fan favorite, including mine. And this edition takes it up not with new spicy Flamin' Hot rice and crunchy Flamin' Hot Fritos inside, loaded with seasoned ground beef, sour cream, and cheese melted on the inside and out of the tortilla. This burrito will be sure to delight. Check it out. I had one today. Delicious.
More from Taco Bell a bit later. Let's go to pressers, though. And we'll start off the top with Coach Sapp and Coach Rob.
Can I say one more thing before
Go
you do
for it.
that?
Yeah.
Because I've seen it kind of take on a larger conversation online, which I think started with my comment on the postgame show on Saturday night about donors. Donors, like I said that night, have been asked to do more than they've ever been asked before.
Yep.
And they have stepped up. Like this is a team that went from 0 NIL to where we are now.
Yeah.
So the donors have stepped up. There's a couple problems. One, we don't have enough. It's not that the people aren't donating enough of their money. It's that we don't have enough high caliber donors. Right. And the other thing is those people who are being asked a lot of want to see return on investment. And it's a weird thing to think of it in that way, because we're talking about something that's not necessarily an investment as much as it is a donation.
Sure.
But if you were giving, let's just keep it very simple. If you were giving $5 and then someone said, hey, we need you to give $25. But if you do, you're going to love what happens. You're like, man, that's 5 times what I was giving before.
Right.
Yeah, but like,
I better love what's going to happen.
Well, this is what it could be. You're like, you know what? Screw it. Here's $25. And then something like Saturday happens.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, I was getting that for $5. So it's a weird thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't feel as transactional as that. But when it's your money, it does feel that transactional. So that's why I brought up, like, those people are especially feeling a certain type of way about this game. And those are usually the people who cause change to happen. Now, again, I think some people interpreted that as like talking about like head coach change. No one wants that. At least no one in their right mind wants that. But it's a tough place for Colorado to be because they're asking a lot of a pretty small group of donors.
For sure.
And now those donors are upset. So that's what I said. But I've seen a lot of people being like, well, those donors need to give more. Like, they're already giving more than they've ever given.
Now's not the time to really be asking for more after Saturday. You know what I'm saying? You got to see the results.
And that's a tough place. It really is. It
really is.
Yep. All right. Here's Coach Prime talking about the Coach Sapp pylon controversy, and then also his blow up on Robert Livingston on the sideline on Saturday.
Let me start by addressing some stupidity that happened a week ago, that someone tried to make a big deal out of Coach Sapp knocking over the darn pylons. That's our little thing. He knocks them down, I pick them up. That's what defensive linemen do, right? They knock them down, the defensive backs pick them off. So that's our little thing. So that's what we do. Stop trying to make something out of nothing. And the little situation that you caught me yelling on the sideline, I wasn't yelling at Coach about a call. I was yelling about personnel. Okay, I just want to make it clear. So I was talking about personnel, not the call he made. I respect the calls that Coach makes. I think he's one of the best guys in the business. We just got to put us in better situations and do more, and the guys have to execute. But I yell on the sidelines all the time. You know, sometimes I yell positivity. I'm not yelling negativity. Sometimes I get disturbed, upset, but I'm not yelling at the coach. I'm yelling about something else. So that's what that was. I got the utmost respect for Coach Livingston. And Rob has done a great job since he's been here, and I respect he and his family. But we got to do better all the way around. Let's go.
I mean, the Coach Sapp thing is whatever. Those are the people who are hating on Shiloh reaching out to the transfer portal. You know what I mean? They're hating on the usernames on the back of that's whatever. But the Coach Rob thing, I mean, that obviously made some waves. Things get heated on the sideline.
I was going to say, that is just football.
Yeah, it's not new. Don't take that personally. Rob didn't take it personally. Coach didn't take it personally. Why is anyone else doing so?
It's just the world we live in, man. The social media in particular, man. You get a still screenshot of Coach Prime appearing to yell at an assistant coach, particularly a defensive coordinator, particularly in a game that you lose 53-7. That's going to make the rounds, and that's going to be what all the haters and naysayers just love to see. So honestly, me personally, I'm glad that Coach Prime kind of out the gate just addressed that, clarified that without really being asked, because it was kind of taking on a life of its own on social media. And if Coach Prime obviously has the ability to kind of put that fire out, I'm glad he did it, because I think, as you just said, we know sidelines in the heat of battle, things get heated, people yell, it's football. It's grown ass men talking to other grown ass men, and sometimes that
And they're down
happens,
40
but-
points too.
And
Like,
exactly.
No, I don't think they were at that point, were they?
either way, they're down a lot to a little. Like
I think at that point it was.
14-3?
I think it was around halftime. It was around halftime.
it was pretty bad around.
It was
halftime.
exactly. So it was already pretty bad. But yeah.
Yeah, that one is crazy to me. I was shocked that I said it when the quote was playing. I was shocked that Coach Prime even had to address that. Like, that's football.
Right.
Like, now the clip is going around right now of Brian Kelly back at Notre Dame, like, put his hands on an assistant coach.
Right.
That is something that has to be addressed.
Yes.
Sure.
Internally and externally.
For sure.
Just yelling. Like, has anyone ever seen a football game? Like, people are yelling at each other all the time.
And
Crazy.
you should have known too, people out there, like how that was maybe taken out of context. Like they're not even looking at each other. Like
Right.
Rob is literally walking the other way. It looks like he's minding his own business, whatever, coaching or whatever. And Prime's just walking behind him. Could be talking to himself. Could be talking on the headset.
Right.
The fact that people ran with that is just really not surprising. But like I said, I am personally glad that Coach Prime just kind of hopefully put that fire out.
The Sapp one to me is funny because it goes into something that I was going to say. I don't know. Do we have the quote that Coach Prime said about like the firings around the country? Are we going to play that one?
Yeah, we're gonna play that one. We can
Okay,
play that
well-
one after this.
I'll just go into my point about it now, which is that nothing is allowed to be funny when you're losing.
Facts.
True.
Nothing's allowed to be like, I read that quote from Coach Prime and I laughed out loud. And then I clicked on your tweet and then I saw all the comments. Everyone's pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I forgot.
Yep.
Nothing's allowed to be funny when you're losing. And so when Sapp was doing that last year, it was funny.
It was great.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it.
No
You
one
do
talked about it.
Right. When you do it and then you get your ass beat, all of a sudden it's not so funny anymore. And so now people get to pile onto it and make a big deal out of nothing. The funny thing to me, in addition to that, is I was kind of hoping that Coach Prime didn't know that Coach Sapp was doing that. Because Neely has showed us the videos of Coach Prime going and then picking them up.
Right.
And I always just was like living in this world where I kind of hope that like Coach Prime was like, what are these doing down? And just putting them up, having
Right.
no idea that Sapp was the one who kicked them over in the first place.
Yeah.
I wonder, what were people even saying about that? Were they saying like Coach Prime and Sapp are like beefing or something? Or like, I don't even.
Why does it matter? They're inanimate objects. They're pylons.
For real, like what is even there to make a stink
Oh,
about
the
that
poor refs.
situation?
They're pylons or not. What are we talking about?
It's crazy. What the hell is going
Some
on?
people are
Jay?
pylons.
Seriously. Some people are pylons, yes. I'm going to start using that as an insult now. Pylon. Here's
Damn
Coach Prime on the
pylon.
firings going around the country. Obviously, Brian Kelly was let go over the weekend. And also a little bit about patience.
Well, there's no one patience in this world. How do we exude patience when we could call up right now and get a pizza delivered right here? That you could call and get a ride waiting outside for you. Everything is expeditious in this country. Everyone wants the quick fix, the quick things. You got mail order brides too, right? You get married, right away. You could get a BBL. You could come in here flat as I don't know what, and leave thick as a Snicker. So this is a different country that we live in, man. Ain't nobody got no patience no more. I understand that, and I don't either. I don't have patience as well. I want things done right now because I'm used to getting up there working, putting in the work, and you want the results from the work you put in. It don't oftentimes work like that.
There's Coach Prime having fun for about 40 seconds. Let's
All
all
four
talk
of us
about
in
why it's
here
wrong.
audibly laughed. That's
Yes.
funny.
This is
That
an
is
all-time
funny.
answer, obviously.
And if Coach Prime would have said that last year, it would have been considered universally funny.
Now ain't nobody trying to hear that.
No one wants to laugh.
I didn't really have BBL being mentioned on my bingo card today, but
Or mail order
or
brides.
mail order bride. That was he'd be flat as hell. Turn around, be thicker than a Snicker. Ain't that
No
the truth?
squats needed.
For real. Oh man.
All right, let's take our next break, and then we'll continue with pressers. And shout out to our friends over at
Toyota, man. Y'all already know how we rock with Toyota, how much we love Toyota over here, partly because it's the official vehicle of DNVR, and because trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA, man. For generations, for years, for decades, Toyota has built durable legends destined for greatness and just perfect for Colorado. Whether you're going up to the mountains whether you're in the city with the squad driving around, man, Toyota is going to have you comfortable. They're going to have you safe. They're going to have you secure, and they're going to get you to your destination safely, man. Toyota's SUVs take command on the road and on the trail so you can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing those smooth city rides. Check out the RAV4 and the Grand Highlander, which I personally just love so much. So visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. Auto Nation, Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain State Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Shout out to Toyota.
And also shout out to our friends at Common Spirit Health, where it's more than just hospitals and clinics. They got a team of passionate, expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being, woven into the very fabric of your community. They're all over out here in Colorado. They got 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites. When we were out in Utah, I saw Common Spirit all over the place as well. Yeah. Common Spirit's everywhere, just making sure that we're all doing all right. Use this as a reminder, too. Tell the ones that you love, your friends, family. Go get yourself checked out, man. We've had enough, warnings and heads up earlier this year, so just get on top of it. Let's take care of each other. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the mighty, mighty, mighty Denver Broncos.
They that mighty?
Looking like it.
Take care of Pat. Take care of PS2. Please.
That kind of ruined my day yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been worse. Never when he was walking off.
I know. I saw that.
I'm like,
yep.
Not good.
I know. The broadcast is like shoulder. I was like, that's like his pec.
I know.
Like
I was
collarbone.
I was like hoping that the broadcast was right because Benny was like he's grabbing at his pec. I'm like, they said shoulder.
Yeah.
But I knew in the back of my mind, I'm like,
it could be
just wishful thinking.
Could be an IR stand for my boy potentially, huh?
Short term. The Broncos only have like 4 games this month.
Yeah, but I learned. We don't have to get into this, but I learned today that the bye week doesn't count. You have to miss 4 games.
Oh wow! Like I guess.
All right. Anyways, here's Coach Prime on the inconsistencies of the team, the many of which there are. Here's him talking about them.
Right. Both sides of the ball hadn't been explosive.
Yeah.
Okay. Not just offense. The defense has been giving it up as well. So let's not just target one side of the ball. As well, we was horrible on special teams as well this past week. I think for the first time all year we hadn't been consistent. So it's not just one area that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about all areas. These guys understand the assignment. They understand the mission. It was one of those days that it just didn't work. You got your butt kicked. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't placate it. It is what it is. Now, guess what? Let's flush the darn toilet and let's move on. And that's what we've done. We flushed the toilet and moved on. Because going back from our state and what we just did, that's 2 different teams. That's 2 different teams up with us, not them. Forget the opponent. I'm talking about that's 2 different things that you saw. Now, we got to get back to that former team and then improve on that. And we're very much capable.
So the second part of that is basically what I said at the postgame show. I mean, in Iowa State, you got the best version of this team. And against Utah, you got the worst version of this team. The variance of this team is extreme. Yeah. It's very extreme one way and very extreme the other way. And that's part of the inconsistencies that I think he mentioned. I mean, when one thing goes wrong, it seems to all affect the other. And it was the most extreme case of that against Utah on Saturday. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how quickly we forget that they beat a ranked team in their previous game before that. The variance very, very clearly to me seems like it's just home and away.
Could be.
Home, this team plays well. Away, this team plays terrible. And there's no evidence to suggest otherwise right now other than maybe them playing TCU close.
Yeah.
The problem is you only have 2 home games left, right?
Yes, you 2-2 the rest of the way.
Yep. Well, that's not. You could win both of those. That's not getting you to a bowl game.
No.
Do you have Coach Prime's answer to my question today about the
blitzes?
About the road.
Oh, I do not have that one. No. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I think for the most part, the difference between this team at home versus on the road is vastly different. So I asked Coach Prime about that today. I'm like, Coach, y'all are 0-3 on the road this year. I think you can look at it. The 3 worst losses this year have all come on the road.
Yeah.
They're being outscored on the road this year, 124-48.
Well, most of that is last game.
No doubt about it, but I mean, the Houston game was an ass whooping.
Yep.
And you lose by 2 scores on the road against TCU as well. Like I said, so I asked Coach Primer about that, and he goes, I don't think it has anything to do with us being on the road. It's us at night.
Which is even worse because that's going back to year 1.
Exactly. And
that's not right.
what do you mean?
Georgia Tech was a night game. Again, you didn't
They
win.
didn't finish.
You didn't win, but
Yeah.
you went toe to toe with the top 10 team.
Yeah, but
BYU's a night game. You went toe to toe with the top 10
Didn't
team.
finish.
I know, but I'm saying you didn't
I hear
play
you.
bad.
I hear you.
Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, at
But guess
Nebraska
what?
last year. Like,
The coach's name is Primetime.
That's
It's never going to stop. It's never going to stop.
that's why I think it's worth talking about.
But it's a home road thing. It is not a day-night thing.
Coach Prime don't think so. I agree with you. I think it's a home road. I think it's a home road thing. He thinks it's a late night thing, and obviously he tried to address it earlier this year by practicing at night. You play at 5:00 this weekend, and obviously that's not the late kick like the 8:15 kick that we've seen a couple times this year, but that's going to bleed into past 8:00. And if that doesn't get figured out, starting next year, this team is going to be on prime time again because of their head coach. And if that doesn't get figured out with this team, that's going to be something that plagues them. And I don't really know what the answer is because I just don't really know what to say about that. You don't play well at night. How? Why not?
that's a good point too, though, from Larry. 10:15 Eastern, 8:15 Mountain is not prime time. That's bedtime.
Yeah, I think
No,
more
it's
5
not.
is tonight or
Yes.
this weekend, right? Is
Yes.
more prime time. But
7 is prime time. So 1 hour later isn't.
I mean, games in the NFL at prime time start at 6:20.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that it ain't changing.
It's not
For sure.
exactly.
No, for sure. For sure.
Whether it's 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
that's when the games are going to be.
Yeah.
Because people turn up for them. And they're especially going to be the 8 o'clock ones because people will stay up
For sure.
to either hate watch or love watch Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought that was interesting because I thought, like I said, you outscored by that margin. You played your 3 worst games this season on the road, and just so happens that they've also all been late at night. And like I said, I wanted to get Coach Prime's thoughts on why he thought if he sees a different team at home versus on the road, but he just sees a different team at night versus during the day, and I just don't really know what to make of that, but. You can be mad about that, but it is what it is, clearly. Mm-hmm. That's just a fact, a trend of this team for whatever reason.
Nope.
It's definitely home road this year. It's definitely home road.
I hear you.
The home games are good and competitive. The road games are not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, last year
They're almost all at night.
you had 2 very polarizing players who were your best players that people showed up specifically to root against them type of thing. And that clearly, they talked about it. That fed the team. I don't know if you have that this year. It's just pure, like, we just don't like you type of stuff.
Well, but to me, that was Shador.
Sure.
Shador was fueled by that type of bullshit.
Yeah.
And so he relished the opportunity to go into your place and shut up your fans and throw the wrist up to your student section. And I don't think it's anyone's fault. I don't think anyone is wired that way, or the right people aren't wired that way on this team.
That is true.
They were 4-2
And that's
last year.
like rare. I'm not saying that someone should be.
Right.
Like it's like a special trait that Shador had.
Yeah, because he was born under Coach Prime and came up from it. Like, that's all he knew. Like, here is Coach Prime talking about the blitzes. Scotty, you posted this on Twitter. There's been a lot of talk about it and why the book is out on Coach Prime in Colorado.
Let me tell you what I was talking about. I was talking about the blitz. Okay, if you recollect the game, you hit a couple big plays early on that we had. They stopped the blitz. Because you had guys right there. We just got to hit them. We just got to get the ball to them. We just got to protect. We got to do some things that we're capable of doing to stop the onslaught. And they stopped it. I know darn well if we're blitzing and they hit us and bleed us down the seam for a touchdown or explosion, you're going to stop that. Now you got to blitz in certain occasions, not every occasion. So we understand football. We welcome that. It's not like it was broken. We had an answer. We just didn't get to it. We just didn't do what needed to be done on those particular plays. No excuses for that.
So there's two things on this. One, we talked a lot about up until this point, time to throw, right? And how Colorado is giving Kaidon the most time to throw.
Nope.
That's the bad side of time to throw. When you're not quick making decisions, getting the football out, within 1-2 seconds, especially against the blitz, that's what it's going to look like. It's just going to look like completely disorganization, not looking prepared, all that stuff. And the other thing is, I'm sure people have already seen the video or the pictures that are out on Twitter. Like, there were opportunities there for Kaidon to check the ball down early and get it to some of your best athletes in space. And for whatever reason, he didn't get the ball there accurately, or he looked to the other side of the field, or he just didn't throw the football. That's what happened when it came to the blitz. So I can grab about play calling too. I mean, where were the screens again? Like, not to do the same stuff again, but like, that's what happened.
Yeah. I guess I just disagree with the answers part, or maybe I just don't think that because Coach Prime said we had answers. I don't think the answers were good enough answers.
That's fair. Very fair.
Sure. Is there a downfield throw that you could hit, with pressure in your face to unlock it? Yes. But when the team, I was sitting here at the bar with the table of people watching the game saying, like, they're going to bring 6 with 2 off the same edge.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. There it is. At some point, you got to have like a tight end in there who chips and releases, and it's just a little dump off for Kaidon there. It didn't happen once.
Yeah, but there were times where they send the flats out both sides, and either Kaidon picks the wrong side or just doesn't throw the ball to the open flat.
Yeah, I might have missed that, but like, you're right. Like, I cannot believe we were asking for a screen, but if there was ever a time, it's when teams are blitzing you heavily. Because that means you have numbers advantages on the outside because they're bringing everyone to the inside. So I see what Coach Prime is saying. Like when T-Cal pointed out today, Pat Shermer calling deep crossers 3 plays in a row.
That's just a whole entire different thing.
You can hit those.
Sure.
Like you were getting man coverage on those crossers, at least on 2 of them, I think. And can you layer it out there and hit that and go to the house? And yes, make them think twice before they do it again? Yes. So is Coach Prime right in saying that there were answers? I think so.
Yep.
The answer is to hit that. My issue is that that's a complex answer when there are more simple answers.
Sure. To me, this just comes down to just a lack of preparation. And that goes for the quarterback himself, preparing himself, watching film, and knowing what a defense might do if you line up in this formation, if you line up in this personnel set. And obviously that goes to coaching, preparing your players, preparing your quarterback for exotic looks. And that's what they got on Saturday. Like Utah, they did do some new things, probably some things more exotic that they have done before in the season. But exactly right. That is football. And that is why when you go into halftime, you make adjustments. Or even when you have on the sideline, you're looking at the tablet and you're watching how they line up and defend you, you make adjustments on the fly. And this coaching staff has just shown an inability, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, to make in-game adjustments. And that has really plagued this offense. And it's a reason why, particularly in the second half of games, aside from Iowa State, this offense really just falls apart. Because on the other side, the defense, you might script an opening touchdown. You might go up 14-0. But then the defense is doing what good coaching staffs and teams do. They make adjustments. And that's what we've seen time and time again, week in and week out with this offense in particular. And for me, Coach Prime there, he's saying that they had answers for the blitz. And again, whether that's getting rid of the football, it really all comes down to knowing where to go with the football.
Yes. That's all it is.
Let's be for real. You have to know where to go with the football when pressure arrives, when they are sending more than 5 rushers, when they're sending more than you can handle. And too many times, Kaidon is looking to the wrong side of the field. Yeah. Or he's looking to where his hot isn't. He's looking to a side of the field where his hot isn't at. And I can think of at least, 4 to 5 plays where there is an open man where the blitz is coming from.
Yep.
And that is, again, 101 quarterback play. You replace the blitz. You see a blitz, you throw to where they're coming from more times than not. Obviously, this isn't a do-all playoff thing, but, Kaidon talking about after the game that, there were looks that weren't there on film. That might be true, but you see it during the game. You watch it on your tablets, and that's when it's up to you and your offensive coordinator to make adjustments. And the lack of adjustments, the lack of preparation has just absolutely plagued this offense. And like I said, it's been a consistent theme. And I really, just where we're at with it. The quarterback and the offensive coordinator have just not been good enough this year.
And I think it's easy to put more on the quarterback. But I also think that there is a really big responsibility on the play caller, whoever's in his ear, to prepare him for what's coming. And I felt like that's what I was most surprised by, maybe even during that game, is I was like, man, Utah just keeps doing the same thing. How have they not just gone on the sideline, like drawn up in the dirt?
For real.
A play that could get them out of this. And speaking of drawing it up in the dirt, like that was actually happening last year.
I was just going to say that. Like they were literally doing that last year.
Yes.
With success.
I think it was actually against Arizona, where the famous clip came out. It was 4th down, maybe even like 4th and 10.
Yeah.
And it's Travis, Shador, LeJonte, and Pat. And they're sitting there basically being like, this is what they've been doing in all these situations. Here's how we're going to attack it. Boom. They end up getting Travis on a dig on the backside and convert the first down.
Yeah.
And like that stuff has to happen in game. Now, that just reminded me that Pat Shurmur was on the sidelines last year. This year he's up in the booth, which is interesting. But those are the conversations that have to happen on the sideline. Here's what they're doing to us. What can we do to get out of this? What's our hot here? I don't know.
And Coach Prime said it there too. Colorado's defense blitzed a good amount on Saturday, and it burnt them. Utah made them pay. That's what you're supposed to do when a defense is blitz. You're supposed to make them pay. You're supposed to make them not want to blitz anymore. All Colorado's offense did on Saturday was invite the blitz.
Yep.
Please keep blitzing us. And I think that's why Coach Prime was saying what he was saying after the game. He's like, we just gave a blueprint away. Run on them, throw on them. Blitz them. They ain't gonna block it. They're not gonna know where to go with the football. And I talked about it yesterday. You probably saw my tweet, RK, but Kaidon Salter, the book is out on him under pressure this year. This year, under pressure, he's completing 24% of his passes. 12 of 49, bro. 125 passing yards, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions. He has 7 turnover-worthy plays under pressure. He has 14 throwaways under pressure.
He had like 7 of those last week.
Exactly. And it's just he is not seeing it, and he is not equipped with the answers from his offensive coordinator, from his offensive staff to handle it. And we talked a lot about the offensive line improving. That's how you overpower an offensive line that's playing well. Yeah, send more at them than they can handle.
Yeah.
And this offense didn't have any answers.
Someone in the comments said 53 points. You guys are talking about the offense. I think it's a fair point. The problem is, I don't even think there's a conversation to be had about the defense.
I mean,
it's an open and shut case. They could not defend zone read.
Yeah. We mentioned it. I mean, the cornerbacks have struggled. The second level especially has struggled. That's why a lot of these runs are popping off and why this team still can't stop the run.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same shit. Like, to me, that was lack of preparation.
For sure. And again,
for that to happen on the second play, which I can only assume the entire conversation is if Bird Ficklin plays, he wants to run the football. And so I can only assume that then the next thing was, okay, here's how we're going to defend zone read when they run it.
Yeah.
And then the second play, complete failure to defend that from a schematic or from a fundamental standpoint. And it's out the gate. And I mean, the wind completely sucked out of the sails. The advantage that you had over them, which is that they didn't want to throw the football, gone.
Had 17 points in the first quarter, completing 1 pass.
And you know what? Like, I could say the same thing. How do you not get back to the sidelines and say this is how it's done? But maybe that is what's happening.
Maybe
that is what's happening, and that could go for both sides of the football. Like, maybe they did draw up some answers. I don't know, you know. But yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, the gap
Integrity,
thank you, was completely out of whack. Worst it's been, obviously, in the coach primary.
Back to that comment, though, that said, we gave up 53 points and all these rushing yards, and all we're talking about is the offense. I mean, here's the drive chart. 3 plays, punt. 6 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 4 plays, interception. 3 plays, safety. 5 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 3 plays, punt. 8 plays, downs. 3 plays, punt. Like, if you're going 3 and out, that is not helping your defense at all. And it's what I've been talking about this entire season going back to Georgia Tech. The offense cannot stay on the field long enough to give this defense any kind of relief. And yes, while the defense does have many, many issues, and talent being one of those issues, you're not helping them when you're only out there for a minute, 3 minutes, a minute, 14 seconds, a minute, 27 seconds, 26 seconds. That doesn't help them.
Yeah, I mean, it was a team loss.
Of course.
100%.
You don't get beat like that if it doesn't go both ways. But you bring up a good point, Jake. I mean, the defense never stood a chance if the offense was they must have averaged under 4 plays a drive.
I mean, the most success they had was starting towards the end of the third quarter. They had an 8-play drive, a 3-play punt, 4-play punt, 9-play touchdown, 8-play downs, 3-play punt.
So yeah, they probably averaged 4.5 plays of possession. 5 plays possession.
5 plays of possession. Yeah. Average time of possession, a minute 43.
That's impossible.
Exactly.
Impossible.
You can't
a minute
win.
43.
But you can't do anything.
7 3 and outs.
The offense is also screwed when they get out there and they're already down 20-0.
Of course, but I mean,
everyone's right. Like I said after the game, you point a finger anyway, you're gonna hit something.
Sure. Last thing in the press conference, a lot of people wanted to hear this. So here's Coach Prime talking about accountability and accountability from his perspective.
You check everything in the house. You start off with yourself to make sure you're putting in the time and the necessary efforts that you need to, and the knowledge of the game that you can extend to the staff as well as the players. You're just checking yourself. Now you go down and you're checking all the coaches to make sure what's being taught is the right thing, it's the right way, and they're checking the efforts of the young men, and we're watching enough film to make sure we're doing the right thing, we're calling the right thing, we put them in the proper situations. Then you go down and check the young men to make sure they're doing their jobs and they want this. Did we choose the right men? Do we have the right collection of young men in that locker room? It's a whole lot of checks and balances going on. But you start at the top with yourself. When you look in the mirror, I got to be satisfied with what I'm giving to this university as well as this team, because they've done a wonderful job of blessing me. So I feel the worst. I haven't been home yet. I've been here every night since. I haven't been home yet. So that's how much I care. That's how much I love it. That's how much I embody this university, the school, what they've done for us, the fan base. They come and sell out during every darn game that we earn. There's not a seat left. I think it's homecoming. Right? We got any seats left? Couple seats left. Hopefully it sells out again, and they have an expectation, which we've created. So we want to appease them, because this is a wonderful place to live, wonderful place to play the game, and I don't know why a young man wouldn't want to go out there and give it his all. This week, I'm glad you got me going. This week we talked about hobbies. I asked all the team about their hobbies. Some people said I like to fish. I like to hunt. I like to ski. I like to cook. I said, is anybody compensating you for that? They said, no, I just like to do it. I said, we didn't even tell you to do it, but you like to do it, right? They said, yeah. I said, when you do that, do you give it your all? They said, yeah. I said, well, won't we do the same thing with this game? Because last time I checked, we're getting a check to do this. So let's give it your absolute all. Make it your hobby. Make it personal. Make it has some feeling into it that you want to be successful. I've never done nothing in my life where I wanted to just compete. I've always wanted to win, and I'm trying to get that across. Like, everything you do in life, you gotta want to win, man. I don't care if we walk into the cafeteria and I'm gonna be one step quicker. I gotta get there faster. Like, I want to win, and I want to embody that every darn day, and I want that to bleed off into these young men. And a plethora of them, it's happening, and I like it, but it's not happening as expeditiously as I would want.
I think that boils down to a classic saying, like, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And that's clearly what's going on with this team. I mean, there's some guys who are bought in, who are giving it their all, who practice like their hair is on fire, who play like their hair is on fire. And then there's some who couldn't be bothered to do that. And no matter how many of those guys that you have, even if it's 1, 2, 10, 20, half the team, I don't care. Like, that's just, it's a cancer. It permeates throughout the rest of the team. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing.
Coach Prime said he ain't left. Since they got back, he said he'd been sleeping in the facility, trying to figure this thing out. We'll see if he's able to. Changes got to be made, though. You know what I'm saying? Changes have to be made, and whether that's personnel, whether that's scheme, whether that's coaching, whether that's responsibilities within the coaching staff, like Saturday night had to be a wake-up call for this football program. Like, not even just for this season, but like just for this football program to figure out, to make sure that this thing is still going in the right direction, the trajectory that it looked like this program was headed on at the end of last season. Like, you have to make sure the progress is still heading upwards and not in the wrong direction. Because like I said earlier, man, that type of loss, man, could do some real damage that bleeds past the month of October, past the year 2025. And you just cannot let that happen. And I understand the idea of, like we have on the thumbnail, flushing it, right? And, you know, Coach Prime said we flush in the toilet. And I think that's appropriate because that was some shit on Saturday.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? But as much as you got to flush it and move on, you also have to make sure you look long and hard at what transpired on Saturday and why it transpired. Mm-hmm. And make sure you address all of those factors. Because if not, we'll see another one. Mm-hmm. We will, if you don't fix what plagued this team on Saturday night.
Lamar has the comment, that's on the coaches. I mean, if you can't get them to buy in, that's on them, the players he's talking about. This is another classic, like, saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink, man. The coaches can preach all they want, try and show them as much as they want. Like, look, this is how it's done. I've literally done this. I'm giving you the blueprint right here. But if the kid doesn't take the first step or he veers off the track, how is that on the coaches? Like, this is an accountability problem on all fronts.
Yeah, I mean, it once again goes back to me. It's everything.
It is.
It's everything. You can go all the way to the talent evaluators, right, or the people who are tasked with bringing in the players. They have to do a better job in finding the people who aren't just looking to cash a check. And I don't know how many players there are like that on this team. I really don't. But I'm just saying, if you think that's a problem, well, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then, yes, the players have to be the type of guys who buy in and want to, you know, represent the jersey, go out there and play hard for Coach Prime. Those guys. The coaches have to do a better job of trying to potentially coach them in different ways to get that out of them. Mm-hmm. The coaches have to adjust the scheme better to the players that they have. It's all there. It's all there. This is just how football works. I think I subscribe to Jimmys and Joes over X's and O's. And I think a pretty good example of that is just last year to this year.
For sure.
Yeah. For
100%.
But that doesn't mean that things can't be fixed and things can't be changed and things can't be done better. And I think that in 2025, we're going to just deal with this a lot in college football, where one season is very different than the next. And that's because the rosters are turning over at unprecedented rates. And so there's going to be times where you just miss. Yeah. And you're not going to be as good as you thought you were going to be.
And a miss can mean multiple things too. You could miss on the talent, you could miss on the person, you could miss on just a litany of things. Like, it's not just
the fit.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just, all encompassing, we missed on this guy. This is exactly why. Like, it's a case, these are people. It's a case by case basis almost every time.
Totally. So, I mean, I appreciate Coach Prime doing everything that he can. If he's really sleeping at the facility, that's crazy to me. Like, in a good way, but also just in this is really bothering him. And like, people will say, like, well, you guys need to hold him accountable. Do what? Go make sure he's staying there? Go knock on his office door and ask him what he's doing? What does that mean?
Those comments are the worst.
Do you want to know what it means?
Yeah.
It means we're not asking the questions specifically how they want them asked, meaning, why hasn't Pat been fired yet? Why is Kaidon still in the game? Guess what? You ask those questions, that's a great way to just get completely owned by Coach Prime in front of the nation.
Well, not even that. No. The coaches or anyone who's in a press conference setting, players, owners, GMs, they don't have to answer anything they don't want to.
100%. 100%.
And you could have asked today about, why isn't Juju the starting quarterback? And if Coach Prime didn't want to answer that and give you a straight up answer, he never would have had to. He would have said, oh, well, whatever. There's a lot of things at play, this, that, the other. You walk away with the exact same amount of information as you had before. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, people, again, are scarred. So when the team gets their ass beat, they just want to yell at someone. And a very small percentage of the time, it just ends up, we get caught in the shrapnel.
Right.
People are telling me to ask questions. I haven't been to a press conference because I'm doing the Bronco show when Coach Prime is doing his press conference. I haven't been to a press conference since before the season, I don't think.
Yeah.
So people just want to yell at someone.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really don't think the media can hold someone accountable.
All we can do is ask questions.
Exactly. And I really don't even know what that sentence means. Hold him accountable.
That's a great point.
It makes no sense.
That's press conferences. We got a few other things we're going to touch on. Quick word from our friends at Taco Bell. Taco Tuesday.
Go Tuesday.
All right, happy Taco Tuesday, my friends. Dre, this is a big one. Taco Tuesday. This is a big one because I love the grilled cheese burrito, and I love Flamin' Hot. So this was all made for me. It's the Flamin' Hot grilled cheese burrito.
Oh, that's so good. Taco Bell beef. Never fails. But this is bomb. I
Wow.
need that much.
That Flamin' Hot edition. I've never had Flamin' Hot and Taco Bell together. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's really...
Taco Tuesday, Flamin' Hot grilled cheese burrito.
Let's go.
Welcome to the rotation. Happy Taco Tuesday, my friends. Live Moss.
Shout out Taco Bell, man.
Fire.
Squad. That was fire. I'm going to have to tap in.
We need some more touchdowns so we can get to the actual fire part of the touchdown.
For real,
track.
How many more do we need?
Like 2.
Let's go.
Shout out Taco Bell, though. Supporting us, supporting the Buffs, supporting CU.
I got 2 things. 2 questions I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
Got to hold you accountable. What'd you think of the facial expressions of Kaidon clip that's gone viral? When he's getting, presumably, people are assuming when he's getting a play call. How did you read that?
I mean, it looked like it was the play where Seton splits out and they go,
It was that.
Center guard, pretty much, and they run up the middle. So I can kind of understand why Kaidon was like, "What? Why are we calling that right now?"
Do you think that's what that was about?
Yes,
Okay.
that is exactly what I like. Bro, why are we running that right now? But I think the biggest thing that just illustrates to me that them two just not on the same page. They never have vibed. They've never have gelled. And we see it week in and week out in the inconsistencies of this offense. That was just a screenshot of it, in my opinion, right there.
Pretty much. That's a guy who's not really coached in college much talking to a college kid on the fields. There's just a blatant disconnect in more ways than one.
And there's not belief in Pat Shurmur and his offense and what's being called. That's clear from the players that there's not belief.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else you could necessarily glean from that. Yeah. It's possible that, again, you can say anything in that time. So it's possible that there could have been like a thing at the end. Hey, don't do this or don't do that. Because I was trying to think, what else could it be? Like, and make sure you don't do this. And he's like, I know.
It could be.
Like,
could be.
It's like when your wife's like, don't forget to close the door when you go. And it's like,
Lock the car.
I know. So I thought maybe that was potentially it. But I think it's more likely what you guys are talking. He's like, really? That's what we're going with? Which is bad sign.
Don't blame him.
The other one, again, just talking about clips that I've seen go viral, was the play call coming in for the QB sneak for Ryan Staub. Jake?
Wait, bro.
I got to ask the tough questions. I don't get to do it in the pressers.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Okay.
That everyone sees the problem.
Yeah.
Y'all saw what I saw.
Yeah, y'all see what I see.
Shout out to Bucky for uploading that.
Facts.
I'll say that.
Totally.
Shout out to Bucky.
All right.
That one was shocking. Not gonna lie.
Just a couple things. We'll talk recruiting here real quick. Xavier Payne is coming in on a visit this weekend.
Yep.
For the Arizona game. The Colorado commit from Orlando, Florida. 1,184th overall recruit, 96th overall offensive tackle, listed at 6'7", 320.
Big fellow.
But yeah, he's coming in. Also, it seems like we're picking up some momentum on 2026 corner or safety. I've seen him listed as both.
DB.
Defensive back. And I've also seen it's JJ or James Dunnigan from Manhattan, Kansas. Manhattan High School.
Just decommitted from
K-State.
Yep.
He is a four-star.
Kansas, excuse me. Decommitted from Kansas.
Yes.
Not K-State.
Okay. He's a 4-star on the 247 Sports Composite, 149th overall player, 16th ranked cornerback. He is coming in this weekend for a visit. He's also got Miami on the books a couple weeks after. 247 has Miami and Colorado as warm in his recruitment.
Heck yeah.
For a team that needs secondary help, you need this guy.
Yep.
Last thing I had, can you pull up that picture, Alyssa? Did you guys see this from the Big 12?
Yes.
This is more so for arcade. Does that make you feel anything? That new logo?
It's really an old logo. It's more of a throwback. So yeah, it makes me feel good.
You know what? I don't know what it is about this picture that makes me think of, you remember like the old Pixar movies in like the beginning? Like,
Yes, with the
little
like the
lamp.
little lamp. Yeah, that's what makes me think about it for some reason. I don't know why.
I saw it in the replies. It looks just like a cologne brand or something.
That too.
I can see that. Too.
But yeah, the Big 12 keeps on changing their logos for whatever reason.
I think they're just having fun, man.
Good for them. At least someone is. Let's go to the chat. Duran asked, do y'all think Coach Prime not being in Boulder this summer plays a part in how this season is going? 100%. Yes. Of course.
Obviously not his fault, but
Right.
you would always rather the coach be there.
Truly, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you can't say it didn't play any role.
He talked about it right before the season, I think, when he announced everything that he had going on. He was like, I haven't even met some of these new guys yet.
Yeah.
You know? And it's unfortunate, you know, when you deal with real life health situations. It's not his fault, like our case said. But yeah, I think it definitely played a part in what we've seen this season and the results.
Next one, Jay asks or says, talent does not make a team, said Master Yoda. Do you think we are going to face an exodus of players like Jordan and Julian?
No. You're going to have turnover like every team does, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree, though.
Speaking of videos that have made the rounds, did y'all see, I think it was C, Marion, Kaidon, and maybe one other person all on IG Live together or whatnot. And obviously, you know how people are. They're in the live comments saying crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And C just goes, nah, I'm a Colorado Buffalo through and through. So
Didn't he say, like, I'll die with this shit or
I
something
think
like that?
yeah, right. Yeah, that's what he said at the end. Yeah, facts.
Sorry.
Exactly what they want,
So
or what we need to. Sean asks, it also seems like we defensively made great adjustments at half from Coach Rob last season. I assume he hasn't fallen off, so is it just the players can't execute the adjustments?
I think that's a fair conclusion to make.
Yes.
Because Robert Livingston has showed us that he can make in-game adjustments and that he can just coach straight up. And that's kind of why I said earlier, and maybe why I'm more harder on the offense than the defense, is because defensively there are some literal, actual talent issues.
Yes.
There's some talent deficiencies on the defense. Obviously, partly because of injury on the defensive line, but in the back seven, there's just straight up talent issues. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And Robert Livingston has to be better, no doubt about it, but clearly the personnel that he's dealing with is hampering, I think, his ability to coach and make some of these adjustments, and just work.
I mean, the dude had the second overall pick on his defense.
Yeah.
He had a nose tackle that was just destroying everyone, and he
Yeah.
had 2 linebackers that were sideline to sideline and just cleaning up everything. Not to mention edge rushers like BJ Green, Arden, all these guys too. So, yeah. How many of those do you have this year?
Yeah, exactly.
Great players make great coaches.
Exactly.
Super chats. Go ahead, Scotty.
Jennifer 499 super chat. She goes, "Love your hat, Scotty. The Homestead Grays for the win. Appreciate you, Jennifer." Fact, shout out the Homestead Grays. I think my favorite part of the hat, I think it's on
This side.
this side. Yeah. What does that say, RK?
Legends never die.
Facts.
My hat's almost a year old.
No, it's not. I got this out here. I didn't get this. in
Oh,
Kansas
that wasn't
City.
at the
No.
museum? Oh,
No, yeah, I got this out here
Got
a
that
couple months
fire
ago.
jacket though.
yep. Jordan with the super chat. Been watching for 3 years and appreciate the love that RK has for Boulder. I was absolutely disappointed in the staff to the point of disgust.
I was concerned about how normal that felt to me.
How normal what felt?
That game.
Mm.
Like, that was way easier for me to process than like the Georgia Tech or BYU games. Because I'm not used to being in those situations.
You did seem very comfortable in that situation after the game.
Do you know how many fucking times I've had to react to a game like that?
Yeah, no, for real.
It's about 1,000 at this point.
That's crazy.
All right. Chat's going crazy. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have media tomorrow as well. I think we have Coach Hilo. I can't remember the players, though.
I think it's Keaton and Arden.
There you go. We'll speak to them tomorrow. Yeah. You know where to find us. We'll see y'all then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.